Hi guys, and welcome to Love Yourself to Success podcast. I'm your host Aaliyah,
and I'm Chanel,
and we'll be discussing all things self-love related.
We'll be discussing unselfish self-love,
healing practices,
deep wisdom,
empowerment,
universal concepts,
manifestation,
mindset shift,
boundaries,
and communication,
reinvention,
and real deep truths.
This is Self-Love Redefined.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Love Yourself Success podcast. Today we are doing the last episode of our trilogy on relations. On the first week we spoke about romantic relationships. Bless you, darling.
Thank you.
So the first episode we discussed romantic relationships. Second part of the series we discussed family and friends, co-workers, touched on a bit of that. That was very raw. And this week we're talking about the most important relationship, which I think we're the most excited to talk about, which is the relationship with oneself. Mm-hmm. So boom, let's just get going.
Boom.
Let's go. So yeah, what would you say is how do you get to know yourself? How do you connect with oneself?
It's simple, but it's also I don't want to say complex, but it's a process. So it is, at its core, it is really about reconnecting with yourself. And to do that, really, it's just about stillness, quietness. Do you know what I mean? And observing like what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're doing, thinking about how much, taking the time to observe about how aligned you are with yourself, seeing the things that hold you back and understanding why, where maybe self-sabotage comes from, maybe where procrastination comes from, or some certain addictions, or it just gives you time to think about those things. So it's about being still, being able to work through things that are holding you back, where even if that's just trauma as well, because a lot of time when we have procrastination or just these things we'd say is maybe self-sabotage, it's usually caused by some type of trauma, I think. So I feel like being able to identify that, and then also being able to reconnect with yourself, which you would do through, just really thinking about what it is you like, what it is you want, really just reconnecting with your truth, with your heart, the things that really get you excited, So I feel like in a nutshell, that's how.
Yeah.
We're going to go into depth more about that, kind of to give you some like recommendations and stuff of things that you can do in different ways to help you to reconnect with yourself. But it's so important.
It is. It really is. And
it's so important.
From a lot, I think the main thing is that, we are programmed from such a young age. Like, let's just get into programming. So from young, you're born, you're taught to go to school, get a job that pays the bills, you just go through a consistent cycle. We're all programmed from such a young age, and it's as soon as you're born into this cycle, into this matrix,
into all these expectations and programs of what is supposed to be.
Yeah, and then I feel like you then build up what you think is the life that you think you desire based on these expectations and these programmings. And I feel like a lot of people fail to realize that if you really want to connect with yourself, you have to be willing to unlearn everything you've learned.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff we have learned have been based on generational trauma. A lot of the stuff that we've been taught is based on what we've been seeing on the TV.
And when we say generational trauma, we mean like trauma that your parents have gone through and your parents' parents.
Yeah. Like, for example, my mum growing up was scared of dogs, so she passed it on to me, and I was scared of dogs.
Yep, and also belief systems.
Exactly.
Like, all men are, if your mum was a person who had bad experiences with men, and she thinks that all men are trash now, she talks about them in a certain way, you might have those
similar
similar
ideals.
opinions about
Yeah.
men.
So just little things like that, like, and yeah, like I said, TV, news, your environment, just society in general, and you really have to be willing to disconnect from that completely and start on a brand new slate. And I feel like a lot of the time why people struggle with this journey is because it can be painful unlearning, and it can be overwhelming discovering who you really are.
Yeah.
It can be, and even for me sometimes, because, you know, as much as me and Chanel would both say that, you know, we're self-love facilitators and we do believe we have connected with ourselves, we're still on a journey with all of you guys. And there's even times, I was saying to Chanel today, when I look at things and I'm like, woo, you know, that was a lot, you know, like I've done a lot in a short space of time. And I think the main thing that I've learned, I would say this year, is fear is not real. It is an illusion, and fear is created to hold us back and to stop us from stepping in our personal power.
Yeah.
And for example, I never thought in my life, I always knew I'd be successful, I would have a great business, I'd be a leader, and I'd be a light in the world in some way. But I never thought in my life I'd be on your TV screen, on YouTube, in any capacity, because I was kind of in a space where I was scared to expose myself professionally or personally.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't think that will change, but professionally, it comes so natural to me now. I'm like, wow, this was holding me back for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, it's been such a healing process being able to listen to myself. Like, obviously we record the podcast, we hear ourselves back, the YouTube, I see clips of myself, and that's probably been the most healing process in my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Because I've been able to self-reflect literally by looking at myself on a screen. So for me to think that I'm going through this massive transition, this massive healing process now, and 6 months ago I was so anxious to even record and just express my thoughts, express my views. And now I'm like, wow, like this is I've now stepped into my personal power.
And look how fast it's happened.
And it's happened so quickly.
It's happened so quick.
And that's just a small example of how fear can really hold you back.
Because fear comes from somewhere though, like it has a purpose.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? If
definitely.
you're getting chased, we've spoke about this before, if you're getting chased by something called as an imminent threat, fear obviously makes you move. Do you know what I mean? If you're in a dangerous situation, panic, the adrenaline that your body will create, your brain knows there's something wrong, you will run, you know, but we are in a society where the fear isn't so necessary. So I feel like the fear also manifests itself as like anxieties and all different types of things, you know what I mean? So, and fear, I think it can even become a depression. Like if you don't follow your dreams, or you never really do what's in your heart, you end up suppressing, and that can leave you feeling like just deflated, like there's nothing too exciting about life. Or
And you can also feel trapped.
yeah,
Sometimes
fear
it's
definitely traps you.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's like you're suffocating. It's like you're in a bubble and you're trying to find your way out.
Yeah.
And after a few times of trying, falling down, getting back up, trying, falling back down, we all have our breaking point. And some of us do go on the brink of depression. Some of us do suffer deep-rooted anxiety. Some of us do, you know, have crazy, some people even have suicidal thoughts and serious mental health issues.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of that is not being able to navigate their emotions, navigate their thoughts, believe in their power, you know, and also just realize that we are all spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, this is not forever.
Yeah.
This is just part of our journey.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like once people are able to detach themselves from the external world, at that point people are like to be like, okay, let me observe. Let me see. Let me take my time. Let me not follow what my ego is telling me to do or what I see on Instagram, what my friends doing. And all of this noise is pure distraction.
Yeah.
And I think once you're able to realize that, we were saying it just becomes laughable when you see people who are just living in this constant state of get up, do this. Like if we were Sims, which we are, how does Sim go? How does Sims go? That's how we all live our life. It is literally like a computer game, and that's how I see it.
And all our behaviour is very predictable because we're running from programs.
Right.
So they know if they say something on the media and send out some type of fear signal, fear message, they know how we're going to respond because most of us, a lot of us are very much in our reptile brain and we don't realise. Do you know what I mean? Because if you make a decision based on fear, and we're talking about it's kind of deep, but it's something that really stops people's self-development when they don't face their trauma and their fears. And if we don't do that, we're always going to be stuck in that box.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And fear is there for a purpose, but if you should never make decisions based on fear if you are actually trying to elevate and progress in your life. Do you know what I mean? Let's say there's an imminent threat, then you can let fear dictate what you do next. Your flight or flight responses are quite great in those scenarios, but it's not for every day, and it's not good to be using that type of energy to make decisions. Do you know what I mean? Because why would you? It's like being in a relationship out of fear of being alone. Staying in a job that you hate because you're scared to leave and you think you might not get another job that's as good. That's just self-doubt. That's not true. You don't know until you do it. So yeah, facing these things is a part of it. There's lovely parts to reconnect with yourself, which we're going to cover too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But there are some shadow sides, which as we like to refer to it as like shadow work.
Yeah.
It's the work that is beneath the surface, the work that other people a lot of the time don't realise you have. You walk around and you suppress certain things that are an issue to you, and everybody has it. I don't care what anyone says. Do you know what I mean? Everybody has some type of something they need to work on.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Whether it's fears, whether it's a bit of trauma, whether it's you're just not where you want to be in life.
Yeah.
And it's not about money is money, innit? And things like I hate mentioning money sometimes because I feel like everybody's really caught up on it. It's our sole motivation to so many things nowadays. But money is just a tool. Money will come when you're doing the right shit. Do you know what I mean? Or you can put your will and focus into just accumulating money, but not obtaining balance within yourself. People do that, but that's why they end up unhappy. That's why you see these people taking drugs or just doing too much. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And you know what I mean when I say that. Do you know what I mean? You're just doing too much, and you got more money than sense now, and you got no real purpose or direction apart from just trying to fill some void.
Yeah.
So you want abundance, but you want a 360 holistic abundance, which means you're abundant in family, in friends, in love, in finances, in luck. When you want to do something, things just start to come to you, opportunities just present themselves to you. You're just a magnet now, 360.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And reconnecting with yourself will allow you to get closer to that vibe.
And also as well, I think when you start the journey of reconnecting with yourself, you naturally, over time, it can be a bit difficult, but over time you do learn how to become more accountable, and you do really realize how much you are the sole creator of your reality. Everything you're seeing in your life today is a reflection of what you have manifested
100%.
over the last few years.
100%.
And once you realize that, and you realize how powerful you are, that you can create the life that you would like,
especially when you raise your own vibration
100%,
too.
yeah. And you will start to be in alignment of what your soul really wants, what you really came here for.
Yeah.
Like, every one of us are so unique. Like, we all came here for a reason. We all came here to execute some kind of work.
We all have purpose.
Yeah. And it's all unique.
And that's the real work. This is where the lie comes in, because they tell you the truth. And I'm talking about people that run the country, people that omit things out of history, people that are controlling you through programming. These people, they have been working on creating different narratives that you follow. Do you know what I mean? And it's really about breaking that program, those programs that are not yours. You need to create your own programs. Do you know what I mean? You need to create conditioning within yourself that takes you to where you want to go, rather than allowing yourself to just be conditioned and then going where they want you to go or other people want you to go. You know, that's you're never going to be happy when you're sailing down the next man's, I don't know, river, current. I don't know what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, you've got to be creating your own path. And so many people are on autopilot.
Oh, 100%.
Just on autopilot, you're just born here and you just get told to do stuff, and you go to school and, you know, you go through this whole process.
And pay the bills and,
You know, it's not normal for us to want to sit in an office 9 to 5. A lot of people do like it, and that's all good for you. But really, we're human beings. We prefer just to be doing things we enjoy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you wasn't getting paid, you probably wouldn't be sitting in an office 9 to 5 unless you was building up your own empire. We kind of do it as a subconscious need. It's conscious and subconscious, because, you know, if you don't go get dash money, you're not going to eat, you know. But it's also subconscious too. We're just programmed to think it's just normal. It's normal to sit in front of your computer for 8 hours every single day and have 2 or 3 weeks of holiday in a year.
Yeah.
Where you try to cram living your best life into it. Imagine every day was like your vacation from work.
And when you don't, you know, take that power back for your life, it will always be your subconscious mind and your external environment that is driving your life.
And it's going to clash, because deep down inside, you're like, I would actually prefer not to spend my whole life in front of this computer or doing whatever it is that I do. Unless you're self-employed. Because sometimes if you're self-employed, you just love what you do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Some people are self-employed for the sake of being self-employed because they just don't want to be told what to do, and they actually still don't like what they do.
And there's also some people who are just in zombie state, who don't necessarily love what they do, but they've programmed themselves to believe they love what they do, so they're just content and sitting there doing the same thing all the time. There's actually some people who have no awareness or no desire to do more than what they're doing.
Yeah.
There generally isn't.
And also though, but if you're a person that genuinely just loves doing like the simple stuff, and you love just working for someone else, you don't even want the hassle. You know, some people are like that. You don't want the hassle. You just want to go to work. You just want to come home, put your feet up, watch EastEnders, whatever. You know, and you are, or maybe you're a housewife and you just want to raise your family, and that's what you love, and that's cool. Do you know what I mean? But as long as you're, you know, genuinely, you could say genuinely deep down inside, I'm really happy. I'm really content with my life. Like, I'm not just doing, I'm genuinely happy. Like, I'm like, yeah. I'm just, every day, I love waking up in the morning because I'm excited about my day. That's how we all deserve to feel.
Yeah.
So I think no matter what you do, if big, small, whatever, as long as you feel like that, we deserve to feel like that. And people feel like they're not. They feel like life's supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be hard. It's a lie. It's so many lies out there. You know, but it's a lie.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's so many lies that are told that will rob you of your life.
Yeah, and your freedom.
And your energy and your happiness. And your bank balance as well. Because honestly, a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. It's not necessary. Do you know what I mean? And yet again, we see, you know, this competition culture and all these types of things. The reason why people are jealous and in competition and doing, it's because they're not connected with their self.
And you know what's funny? I saw a...
Fully.
just briefly touch on the money thing, because I don't want to necessarily keep focusing on it. But I was watching a interview that Kelly Rowland did. And she said for most of her career, she was rich broke, which basically means...
I know a lot of artists.
Yeah, and she's basically just saying that she was also... Although her paychecks were a lot greater than most people's, she was living paycheck to paycheck.
Even when she's in Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
Madness. This is one of the record labels, which is the whole scam.
Yeah, definitely. But more to the point, these are the people that we're out here idolising. These are the people, then when they got a nice little handbag and they got this house and this house, they are rich broke.
Listen, they got people distracted out here.
100%.
The Forbes list is not even real.
No, definitely not.
Do you understand? The people that really have P are not on the Forbes list.
Amen.
Don't get it gassed. Not like social media, like there's just, not just social media, sorry, like just just general things that are out there sometimes are just absolute nonsense, and we do have to use a discernment, I think. So we have to reconnecting with self is about knowledge as well. Like we want to learn. Do you know what I mean? Because when we learn, we grow. Do you know what I mean? When we learn and we actually internalize the information, we grow as a person.
Yeah.
Even if we're making mistakes, we learn lessons. As long as it's all about how we see life and what we believe our experience is about. Because if you don't believe that your experience is about anything more than you just here, and then one day you die and you become the earth, then you're just going to kind of just not have much purpose. You're just going to...
And I also feel like people that are in that state, no judgment, but people who do stay in that state in terms of just, they never really become self-aware, I also feel like you also then lack gratitude for life, you know, because we were all chosen to be here, right? We are all here for a reason. So for you to forever be in a state of, oh yeah, I'm just going to do this, go to work, same routine, and not ever try and think outside of that box, you're doing yourself a disservice.
You're just building up somebody else's empire. And I think enough people know this. And I think a lot of people that watch this will probably know that.
But not even not even from that aspect in terms of just going out and working, but I mean just being content and just believing, more so the believing that this is how life should be. You're doing yourself a major, major disservice. Like, we are amazing creatures. When you really like look at life and look at humans and what we can speak, we've got all these senses, we've got a brain, we've got a heart, we've got these amazing organs, and to just sit down and think, yeah, this is just, you know, this is life,
just some random,
it ends here, after life's gone it ends here, and I'm just here because I have to work because that's what I was taught. And you know, like, what, like, are you not intrigued to rediscover what is going on? Like, and for me personally, every day is a new discovery for me, whether that's something
100.
new I've learned, whether that's something I've observed about myself. I speak about myself in third person so sick, I'm like, oh, okay, Liz, how you doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm literally just like I have conversations with myself. And you know, like, when you get to this point when you realize that me here, what you see here, everything I'm wearing it's all gonna perish. It means nothing, but my soul will go on with me after this life. And you know, everyone have different beliefs about, you know, what happens after this life, whatever. But ultimately, we are all energy.
100%.
We are all vessels,
and we know
of life.
That energy it transfers, it transmutes, it doesn't die. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like,
isn't that a Kendrick Lamar lyric? Or Janae Aiko lyric?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I don't know from them.
Caption.
But we're magnificent, energetic, electromagnetic beings. And, you know, we are vibration. The universe is vibration. So when we're in a state of, we speak about this quite a bit, but when you're in a state of fear, when you're vibrating on a low frequency, you are gonna attract nonsense. And you're gonna feel very good
if you're
your life.
Not aware of what's going on around you, i.e. the fact that there's currently loads of towers, I'm not gonna say it, but there's loads of towers being built up, which is directly gonna be affecting our energy and naturally gonna make us live our life in a low vibrational state. If you're not aware of these things, you will live your life. It'll be easier to be dumbed down into that low vibrational state. You need to be aware of what you're eating. You know, like, are you consuming foods with a lot of heavy metals that can affect your energy?
With all the radiation.
Even your phone. You know, how much time we spend staring at our phone or just near any kind of electronical device.
So, because, you know, this help when you're feeling off, disbalanced, fatigued. A lot of time it's because of those things. You've been staring into your phone for too long. You've been having it pressed up against your head, radiation up in your head for too long. Like, these things have an effect, and it's not on the news, it's not out there. so we just think it's normal. But all these things affect your vibration, they affect your energy, they affect the way you feel. So yet again, putting you to a low vibration. Sometimes we need to just...
And like, imagine if you could see yourself as just a skeleton, like you didn't have no flesh, no nothing. I can guarantee a lot of you would be traumatized about what you see and what's going on in your internal body and in your organs, because that reflects in how you carry your day-to-day life. If you're stressed, your organs are gonna be a bit distorted or look a bit unhealthy. Your heart's not gonna be beating at the rate that it's gonna be beating at. So try and... You, like we said, you are a vessel. You have to take care of yourself.
100%.
Like, if you don't, you will become very unhealthy. You will become very unhappy. You will become depressed. You won't be able to... That's the thing, right? I feel like some people think, like, manifesting and stepping into your power is, like, this amazing... magic power.
It's not, no.
And
it isn't.
But it's a magic power that's available to every single one of you.
100%.
But we are also trained to believe that, oh no, only she can do it, or they can do it, or they work hard and da-da-da-da.
Do you know why? Because it actually isn't. I don't think it's for every single person to fully pursue that.
I agree.
Do you know why I say that? Because in history, it's always shown that not everybody does. It shows, I think inside we have the potential to do it, but because we're at different stages of consciousness, if you're not ready for certain different... And this is why we were saying what we were saying last week, that this is not actually for every single person right now. That makes sense. Some people might look back at this in a year and be there. Do you understand? Because if you're not at a certain level of consciousness and you not studying no books... You don't understand anything about yourself. You're not self-aware on any level. You don't know how you behave. You don't know what you want to learn. You don't know what you don't know. You're just in a state of just existing and just living your best life with your friends. And thinking about what you're going to buy from Boohoo. I like a cute little outfit, but my life is completely not consumed about the smaller things, if that makes sense. I'll buy a little something if I need a little something. But I think a lot about, like my growth.
I'll definitely
so,
buy a little something.
So I'm, even if I don't have time to read every single day, I will watch something when I'm getting ready that is inspirational,
100%.
motivational, that wants to teach me something.
And this is what I was saying earlier, like, how much time do you ask yourself, what have I done today to invest in my personal growth?
We put up a post
the
other day on Instagram.
We did actually.
Yes, we did.
But these are questions that I ask myself. Like every morning, I love reading. I prefer reading way more than I prefer listening, because I feel like with reading I'm actually engaged. I'm here with the book. Yeah. But at the same time, currently I don't have a lot of time to read, so I listen to podcasts. And majority of my mornings, I'm either listening to some soulful vibes music, or I'm listening to a podcast. And that's even if I know that the rest of my day is completely hectic and I may be a bit all day, I've done one thing that day that I have invested in myself. And like in this generation, a lot of us are willing to spend £1,000 on shoes, £1,000 on bags. Would you be willing to spend £1,000 on a book? If you knew there was one book that was going to change your entire life and help you create everything you wanted, would you spend 100,000 on a book? And I actually want you to answer that question, because we just might decide to make a book that's worth £1,000. Do you know what I mean? So please answer, comment below, write a review if you listen on the audio. But yeah, I'm quite intrigued.
We love you guys.
But this is a question that you guys should be asking yourself. Yeah. Like
what's your value actually? What's your value?
What is your value?
What's your worth? And if you don't think you're worth much, then put more into yourself. We're all worth so much, just because we're a piece of the Most High. I believe that. I fully believe that every single thing that we see and that we experience is a manifestation of the Most High. Every single thing. And I just feel like you have such purpose and you have such greatness within you. You just have to see it. And I feel like that was a part of the great work that they used to talk about. And this is why I say they used to have initiates back in the day. You hear about it with Jesus and his disciples and all these things. You hear about even like in Egypt, they had disciples and certain information would be limited to the masses. So we are really lucky to be in a time where we can actually do research and find out what the people that were reaching high states of consciousness were doing. Do you know what I mean? And only some people are right now in this moment ready to like really level up. Does that make sense? Like really become more conscious, really start investigating, internalizing. And as we said, it's not something that happens overnight, but you have to be at a point where you admit to yourself that you're ready to admit to yourself that you've got some stuff you need to work on. Because a lot of people are not ready to say that. They don't want to see themselves as flawed. They don't want to see themselves as they could be broken, or they might need to heal, or they don't want to admit that some of their behavior is maybe toxic for either their own lives and themselves or towards other people. They don't want to admit to themselves that their own behavior is holding them back. And if you're not there, then this is not for you.
And can I also just say, like, with everything we've had going on in 2020, like, we're in the age of Aquarius, all the truths are being exposed.
So I feel like a lot of people are more ready for this now.
Right. Yeah. And I was going to say, now is the time.
It is.
We are moving into an era where there is more enforcement on control of how we should live our daily lives. If you do not take your power back today, and I mean today, not tomorrow, today, you are going to get left behind. And take that how you see it, do your research, but I'm telling you this with all the love in my heart, you need to take your power back today. If you want to raise your level of consciousness, live your life on a higher frequency, be happy, be a provider, take care of yourself, and just feel connected and blissful and free. You cannot attain any level of freedom until you understand that you are powerful and you are in control. And at any moment, you can transmute any emotion or any feeling that you're feeling into whatever you want it to be.
Amen.
You know, you really, really can. And like we were speaking earlier and we were saying that, you know, we all have intuition, men and women, and women don't actually realise that we live in a society where it's actually quite accepted for us to use our intuition, you know, because it's like we're mums, mum's intuition, or, you know, we're just so connected with the divine source as women. Take advantage of it, use that power. Do you know what I mean? And men, it's a little bit different because I believe they're masculine, they don't know how to express their emotions, they feel uncomfortable expressing their emotions.
And that's created some disbalance with their feminine.
With their feminine side.
Which is more where the intuition comes in,
So take advantage, you know, tap into your intuition, listen to yourself, hear yourself, you know, like even go for a period like of even like 30 days where you don't speak to anyone. Like there's so much people who are scared of being alone. And it's funny to me because I will happily go and sit in a restaurant by myself with a drink or a glass of wine and be great. Do you know what I mean?
When you're not used to spending time with yourself though, because that's the thing, some people are so used to their phones and some type of distraction that they never take time to really just have nothing on, just be quiet and actually just think about what they're thinking about. And also, to some people that's so alien. But
also being alone with your thoughts can be scary because you see
what's going on in your head. You do. You see,
and you want to run away from it.
It's not necessarily you though. That's what kills it. It's not really all you. And I had to go through this deprogramming process. Sometimes I would be trying to meditate and I would see something fucked up pop in my head, like something from a horror film or just something weird. And there are so many things that are pushed into our mind. Like our subconscious mind, sees everything. It records everything. Things that our conscious brain doesn't know, our conscious brain will remember some things. Like our day-to-day, like we might have a little flashback of the past that we consciously remember. But there's so many things in the back of our subconscious that create little mini fears, beliefs, impressions, imprints on us. Do you know what I mean? And it does affect us. It affects the decisions we make, the choices we make. And being alone with all these programs and all the horrible things we've seen in life, because there was a study on it, we've seen more violence and death and destruction just through TV media entertainment than we should have seen in like 20, 30, 40, 50 lifetimes.
And you've seen a pandemic to just...
Do you know what I mean? Just because of fictitious nonsense that's on TV. Our body, we're not supposed to go through that stuff. That's why we're all
on edge. And a lot of the time as well, until you're alone with those thoughts, you won't ever know how to control your thoughts or master the fact that you are in control. Like, even for me, sometimes when I try and get into meditation, which I'm still working on, I wouldn't say I'm a meditation guru, expert, whatever. And there's times when sometimes I light a candle, and to get myself in the zone, I just kind of stare at the flame. Mm-hmm. And there's times when I get thoughts, but you have to really say to yourself, let it in, let it do what it needs to do, and let it come out.
And if it's a repetitive thought, you actually need to acknowledge it and say,
absolutely,
that's not a part of my reality, and I know that's programming, and then let it go.
And let it go.
Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes you have to actually reprogram yourself to know you've been programmed.
Amen.
Do you know what I mean? You know, but also you have to master to an extent your thoughts. And I don't want to say master. You want to gain some more control over your thoughts before you can fully gain control over your intuition. Like, if your thoughts are scattered and all over the place, and you're thinking this and you're overstimulated all the time, you can't hear the inner voice. Your intuition's like your inner guidance. It's like your antenna. Literally, you feel something, it's your antennas picking up on a little frequency it doesn't quite resonate with. It just knows. Do you know what I mean? So your intuition is like your energy self communicating with you. And if your mind is doing the most, you're not going to hear or listen to that internal guidance. There's no space for it. You need to control your intuition, to grow a deeper relationship with your intuition. Is something that is really worth doing. It's going to help you to get a deeper relationship with yourself. It's going to allow you to really start to trust yourself. This society has programmed us not to trust ourselves, you know. That's the first person you should trust.
And also,
like, your mom, maybe your dad, but no one knows you better than you. Yeah. No one should know you better than you. So if you're not listening to your own internal guidance system, that's messed up. They got us all fucked up out here.
And, you know, even just the ripple effect after you start the journey, like even your relationships with your mum, your dad, your sister, they change. You become, once you're able to become more accepting of yourself, you become more accepting of other people, which means you genuinely become happier, and you don't become so attached to how other people might treat you or their emotions, or you know, because I feel like a lot of the time when people are going through stuff, they project it on their closest people, right? And if you aren't self-aware and you aren't connected with thyself, you're automatically going to take it quite personal. So then you take on that person's emotion and you carry that weight, and now you're having a bad day because that person spoke to you in a way and you're like, oh, it's not bad that you did it. A lot of the time people treat others based on how they see themselves.
Most definitely.
And once you see yourself as the queen that you are, you or king, you reflect that treatment on, and not even just on relationships, just how you treat things, just how you take care of your plants, just how you see money, you know, anything external to you. What you have to realize is that everything around you works for you. It works in your favor at all times. You don't have to chase anything.
You're requesting every minute, every second with your vibration.
100%. Do you know what I mean? And once you're able to really install that belief and believe in yourself, it is a constant ripple effect of your life, and it's a positive one. And like, even when you do have things that happen where life tries to test you, it's never a bad experience. Like even earlier, I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh my God, this year's been really this and this. And I was like, I've actually not had anything super negative. That's because my perspective though, because right now I'm open to all experiences, whether they cause me a bit of pain, whether they make me happy, because I know experience enriches my growth, and it's going to make me a better person.
sure.
It's going to help me raise my vibration. It's going to help me become more self-aware. It's going to help me get to the, what's it called again, the what chakra?
Oh, crown.
Crown chakra.
Yeah.
That's my ultimate goal in life, to constantly just be in that crown chakra state. Do you know what I mean? Like, and we all have to take our time to work through all of those, and just become more accepting of ourselves. And once you do, honestly, like, I feel like I sound like a sermon. Preach.
You know what it
But
is?
that's how I feel. It's a passion.
We really want to get that balance, and we need to work on things. And like, we do want to aim to be up here in terms of our energy, but really we want to also have the balance. And the people don't want to work up the chakras, because this is what we have to do. We have to deal with the trauma in the root chakra. Do you know what I mean? Or that's even in the sacral chakra, because this is where we create from. Do you know what I mean? Like our sexual energy. Also like our will, which is our solar plexus, which is here. We create through here, so we need to get our beliefs straight about how we create even. Do you know what I mean? We need to learn how to forgive and how to love. Do you know what I mean? And we need to know how to speak our truth and vocalize our dreams. This is manifestation. Do you know what I mean? And then we need to see. We need to see here, we need to see inside, we need to see the vision. Do you know what I mean?
And I think even when you were saying earlier about when we was talking about touched on the throat chakra, if someone says something you don't like or gives you an instruction you don't like, if you don't vocalize your objection to this, you are automatically accepting or agreeing what that person has said or instructed you to do.
Yeah.
So it's really important that you vocalize it in a way where you don't offend people, but you vocalize your wants, your needs, your opinion. Sometimes just even voice. Sometimes with me, I know I'm having a conversation with someone, and I know that ultimately their opinion might not change, but I just want to get my opinion off my chest. And that's okay.
Yes.
But we need to all become comfortable in doing so. And once you do, you kind of get into that unapologetic state of just like, I'm me, and whatever comes with me, take it or leave it.
Yeah, again, I think, like 100%, I feel like it all starts in the mind though. Do you know what I mean? Because you got to know what you want. You got to know what your vision is. You got to know how you choose to be treated, how you deserve to be spoken to, what type of person you are, what you stand for, who are you, what do you want, what do you like, what will you not tolerate, what are you okay with, what are you not okay with. Do you know what I mean? And once you know what is going on up here, you then need to speak it. Do you know what I mean? And then you also need to do it in action. Do you know what I mean? This is like the Holy Trinity. Do you know what I mean? Like, think it. Well, manifestation, I feel like the Trinity is think it, speak it into existence, and do it. Do you know what I mean? And I think the Holy Trinity, in terms of being connected, is think it, feel it, do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's different, but it's about just knowing yourself, and then being able to act and respond accordingly. And the great thing is that we have different options.
We have choice.
We can say things, we can do things.
I think a lot of people forget we have choice.
So much choice.
We can choose.
We have so much free will.
Especially now. Like, although, yes, times have changed and compared to however many years ago, but we probably have the most choice than any of our ancestors.
100%.
We have access to so much information.
That's true.
So I'm gonna keep it real. You are really fucking lazy. No, serious. You are really lazy if you choose to just be a sheep all your life. And that's what I put it down to, because we're constantly.
You know what I say? No, I agree. I agree. But you know what I think though?
What?
I think that I feel like some people are just not there yet. They're just not there yet. Like, I'm sorry, like, I think sometimes people have to go through different lives. You're either choosing now, like what Leah said, you're either choosing now to remember who the fucks you are, or you're going to be led. You're going to be a sheep by default, whether you classify yourself as one
but
or not.
There's also
you're be
some
directed.
people who just ooze at ignorance, which is willingly sheep.
Yeah.
Like behaviour.
Yeah.
And for example, if you were told something and you're either naive to automatically agree it, you don't lose discernment to think about what the person's saying, or you don't do your own primary research. There's so much time people repeating things to me, I'm like, you just sound like the news reporter on the news, or you just sound like your teacher that told you that in primary school. You know, what does that even mean? Like, how do you feel? What have you done your research? Like, I live my life daily on practicing, researching the things that I'm curious about, coming to my own conclusions and sticking to what resonates with me, but also being open-minded to learn more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That creates space to learn more, to grow more.
That's if you're in a growth state though, babes. A lot of people are in survival state.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? And those are the types of people, like, no offense to them, do your thing. Do you know what I mean? But if you're just out here, just going with the flow, someone's gonna direct you. Most people don't realize they're already being directed now. A lot of people's egos are not ready to handle that. Do you know what I mean? And also, a lot of people are not ready to take personal responsibility and say, how do I excel? What work do I need to put in to get to where I want to? Doesn't matter whether it's a big dream or a small dream. A lot of people don't always have the consistency and the consistency and the real drive and determination to make it happen. And I don't think that makes you good or bad. I don't think it makes you right or wrong. But then, what I think though is that whether you like it or not, or it's right or wrong, good or bad, the result will be the result. The universe is not biased. Energy and vibration is not biased. If you don't stick to something, or you don't complete things, or you never follow or chase a purpose, you will never get anywhere. It will be what it is. So people can just, I'm fine, I'm okay, all they like.
Yeah.
But the results will speak for themselves.
100%.
And I think that knowing yourself, I know that a massive thing that motivates me, and it's not that I'm perfect, I can be lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
But like a massive thing that motivates me and keeps me going and doing even something little every day towards my goals is that I know that I just can't be trapped. I can't be trapped living how other people are telling me to live and earning that everybody thinks is socially acceptably normal to be producing or making.
Yeah.
I know my value. You understand? And I know that if I want to do something new, I'm going to go learn. And then I'll do it. Do you know what I mean? There's times when I didn't think like that. There's times when I was like, oh, you know, I'd like to do this, and I'd procrastinate on it, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to do this course. I've done courses, I've done things, I've done learning, I've done so many things. Do you know what I mean? But ultimately, when you keep searching for what you want, you will find it. And it's about the journey in itself towards self-discovery. So you can't you shouldn't, try not to get frustrated with yourself if you feel like you're not getting where you need to get to. Trust me, the fact that you're looking is the journey itself. And the fact that you're looking is going to take you where you need to go. It doesn't matter if it takes a year, 6 months, 10 years.
And the deeper
everybody's journey is different.
And the deeper you go as well, the more you realise how limitless life is. Like, I genuinely believe that now. Like, the transformation that I've experienced in such a short space of time, being in this state, I'm like, anything is possible. Anything I want to happen will and can happen. You know, and although you might not know exactly how you're going to get there, I know that I will get whatever the fucks I want.
That's right.
Because I'm clear about what I want. I set my intentions daily. I ask for what I want. This is what makes me laugh, right?
And you say it with conviction. You say it with your chest.
But also, you know what makes me laugh? People are like, oh, I really want a nice car, or I really want a nice boyfriend, or I really want a nice holiday. What have you done have you even fucking asked? Like, have you asked? Have you asked whether that's God, your higher self, the universe? Have you at all once asked, I would like this, I deserve this? Sometimes it is just that simple.
100%.
And depending on where you're at, if,
it's all about knowing your value.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yet again, like, if you know your value, if you say to yourself, you know what? I know I'm a good person. I know I can hold down this house. I can do this. I can do that. I have time for someone in my life. I want someone in my life. I know I deserve someone because you know what? I can take care of myself. And I have space for space in my life for someone else too, to share that with. But a lot of time people are trying to jump into relationships before they've even mended and healed themselves. And that's why a lot of people are just projecting trauma on each other in relationships.
And then creating new traumas in people.
And then you're having kids. And then you're breaking up. And then like, it's all trauma based. It's all about, because you don't know yourself. That's what it's all about. That's why people have conflict. Do you think I get into conflict with people?
No time.
I don't get into conflict with people because I know myself. I know my cut-off point. I know who I'm dealing with, who I'm not dealing with. I know what attitude and what energy I'm willing to tolerate and what I'm not, and how I'm going to respond to different things. Because I know myself, taking the time to understand how I operate, what rubs me up the wrong way, what kind of people I should be around, who I shouldn't, what I want in my life. So if I see something I know how to remove myself from it without feeling guilty or feeling bad. Like, I know my worth. I know how much I want to be paid. I know how much each hour of my life is worth to me. Like, if I'm going to work or I'm going to do some type of job, I know how much I feel like I want to be paid. Don't feel like it's too outrageous to say, you know what? I want to get paid £100 an hour, £200 an hour.
Yeah.
I want to get paid 10 grand every 3 months, every 2 months, whatever you want to do. Like, I'm not saying that necessarily everyone's going to get exactly this perfect image, because in the day, what is for you will find you. And some of the things you want are not the things you need.
And sometimes people,
you know what I mean?
like, aren't meant to necessarily have, like, money type wealth. Maybe you're just consistently offered different opportunities which are giving you experiences which is helping you learn and grow.
You know what I think?
Know what I mean?
I think the universe will always give you money if you have a destiny that's big enough for that money. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like when people sit there and go, I want £1 million, I want to win the lottery, I want to win. I feel like
It would be nice though.
Yeah, you can say that, but what's it based on?
Yeah.
It's empty. Your desire for the money or whatever it is you want is coming from a place of lack. Do you know what I mean? So we need to be like, yo, I want to earn, because I got something done called Psyche a while ago.
So did I, actually.
And and I, at the time, my mindset was a little bit different. I was a little bit more money orientated. Psyche is a little bit a thing where they do subconscious programming. So they reprogram your subconscious through doing body movements and whatnot. So I got Psyche done and I wanted to reprogram some things from my mindset. And one of them was about abundance. So I was like, I want to earn 5 million a year. And at this point, I'd built my confidence up to the point that I knew that I could ask for 5 million, and I knew that I had the right to, in a way. It might sound mad to some people that I'm saying that, but when you got big goals, you can put out big requests. And that's how I feel like it works. If you've got a big dream and a big goal, and in your mind you know how that's going to work, you know how you've planned it out, and it makes sense, so using your logic, and then you're saying, yes, I feel this, I love this, and then you start doing it. If you're saying that, I know that I want to make 5 million a year because I want to help poor people, I want to help create more sustainability, I want to do grand things with this, especially if it's to help other people. The universe will assist you.
100%.
Don't think that it's too much. It's not, but it's where you coming from with it. And this is the problem that people have with money. A lot of time you want all this money. What for? What are you buying? Gucci.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Fine, buy it. Do you know what I mean? But why do you want this money? Because to be fair, people want to be rich because they just want comfort. They just want comfort. They want to they will say, if you say something, I don't want to be rich, they'll say, oh, I want to travel, I want to live my best life, I want to wear this, I want to You can do all that stuff without actually having to be rich.
Right.
You can.
And a lot of people
You
say,
can.
do you know where people mess up? They go, I'll do this when I have. So it's like people are waiting for something to happen before they decide to go and live their life, or before they decide to feel free. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I'm rich, I will. Yeah. When I'm in this environment, I will.
Yeah.
Start now. Yeah. Start today.
Yeah. Because the perfect circumstance for you to live your best life is not going to manifest one morning.
100%. 100% not. And, you know, like...
You have to align with it.
Although I feel like we have been in this conversation, because we're coming towards an end, but although I feel like we have been quite direct in what we're saying, it is so easy for people not to take on this path, because it is just so easy to just stick with what's familiar, live in that reptile brain, listen to authority, don't take the time out to do your own research, don't take time out to invest in yourself. But we really, really encourage you guys to become your own muse and enjoy rediscovering yourself, enjoy mastering yourself. And it's a journey that never ends. You just get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
Because I feel like the more you reconnect deeper into yourself, is the more you're actually connecting to the Most High. Mm-hmm. And the Most High, some people call it God, the Most High, the Infinite. The Most High is infinite intelligence, infinite expression, infinite energy. So really, if we're looking deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into ourselves, which I feel like allows us to connect to that energy more and more and more, you are literally going to go into God mode. And I think this is where sometimes people get confused when people call themselves gods. Yeah. I wouldn't per se call myself a god. Yeah. Okay. But I know that I believe we can get into God mode, which means we tap into the infinite source that is within us. I think that every atom and piece of energy is an expression of God.
And we are all seeing, we are all knowing.
Yeah, and we have to be quiet to hear that we have to have that stillness to hear the subtle energies, and you start to tap into it more and more and more. And that is really discovering yourself too. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's deep. And also we can make some deeper stuff about this in the future if you guys want us to.
No, we definitely are going to. But we wanted to just give you, before we go, we wanted to give you a couple of ideas of how you can kind of start your journey with ease, no pressure. One of the ideas that I had, which is, I mean, we're going to put a couple of posts as well, which will hopefully help you guys in the morning, or if you're more of a night out before you go to sleep. But ask yourself in the morning, what am I going to do today to invest in myself? What am I going to do today to assist my growth? Ask yourself and answer the question.
Even if it's a little 10-minute activity, an hour-long activity, you could take the day out if you can.
Yeah,
whatever.
Definitely. Whatever it is that you can do, or that you feel like you're doing to help your growth, do it. Ask yourself that question.
Do whatever time is most comfortable for you too. You don't have to force greatness into you. Yeah. Greatness will happen when you're just on the path.
You know, you see them pastors and you see those people going mad. Like, no disrespect to like Christianity and what you believe in and stuff, but I've seen some crazy things and I'm like, what is going on? Like, why are you forcing your soul and your energy and your beliefs onto that other person? And the person believes they're receiving it, but hey, you know, that could be you to yourself. Do you know what I mean? So another idea we had is brainstorming. Like, there are people who aren't sure of their path, once you start to connect to yourself and you become committed to yourself, your path will just appear. Do you know what I mean? It really will. And
you just got to look. And if you don't know where you're starting from.
Can I also say that no way is the right or wrong way? Let me just make that clear. Do you know what I mean? Your path will lead you to wherever you need to be.
You just got to listen to the signs. You've got to listen to your intuition, listen to your feelings.
And even if
make it make sense.
And even if you're on a one-way street and you feel like you're on a one-way street, keep going that way, darling. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, keep going, because your path will align. Once you connect with your higher self and you're living your life on that highest spirit frequency, your path will align for you. You won't have to do any of that work.
And also, when you create your path, don't necessarily feel like it has to be rigid and fixed. Like, i.e., we initially, when we started this, we said it was going to be this, and this.
Yeah.
As we've gone on, it's become this.
Amazing.
You know,
Yeah.
and more than that. So it's just like, if you go with the flow, so when you're brainstorming, write down the things you love, the things you like, the things you have thought about doing, things that people have told you you're good at. Just brainstorm ideas. What do I like? What am I good at? And things will come to you. If you really can't think of nothing, try some new shit. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
But brainstorm is a great way to just tap into just ideas that are within you.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
It just gets you going, gets your juices flowing. Also, visualization. So once you feel connected, I'm just going to read off what a couple of notes that we've written. Once you feel connected with your visions, and the deeper you get into your visualization and your meditation, the more powerful you're going to be. Get yourself in that inner child. Get yourself into that childlike mind. Imagine yourself when you're a child playing with your imaginary friend, or pretending playing with your planes and
imagine, let go and just imagine. Use your inner eye.
Definitely.
See your dreams, your vision, your creation.
And then you start to cultivate all that emotion around it. And then you also start to feel grateful because you are having this experience, you know. And once you create that experience in your mind, that experience will manifest, especially if you are consistently visualizing it and you are consistently working on yourself. But yeah, I'm so excited, guys. Like, honestly, like, me and Shell together have been on such a crazy journey, and we know we're gonna, you know, just help connect some dots for some people whilst we're connecting the dots for ourselves. And that makes it a lot more enjoyable. So thank you again for listening. This is the last part of the relationship trilogy, but we will be talking about a lot more specific things.
Next week we're gonna hit you up with another podcast. It will be,
we're not revealing yet. But yeah, we'll be back next week with another podcast. But yeah, please like, share, subscribe, click the bell button for the YouTube listeners. And if you're listening on audio, please like and give a 5-star rating and leave a review.
Thank you.
But yeah, any questions, hit us up on email, Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, whatever floats your boat.
And also, again, if you've got any tips for us guys,
please, we're open.
We love you.
We're so open.
Learning.
Yeah, honestly.
Listen, we are open, always learning, always just here for that new inspiration, because we've all got something to give. So don't think what you think or what you know isn't important. It is. We've all got something to share, for sure.
100%. But thank you guys, and take care. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.